Hello, everybody. Welcome to Percussion Axiom TV. I'm your host, Tom Burritt, and it's sort of a laid-back Friday here, and this is episode 13. Thanks for watching. Today's Axiom really centers around something that has been coming up a lot this week as I've been working with some of our new students here at the University of Texas in the Butler School, and then also talking with our older students to kind of figure out where they're going when they're done here. And that's simply the idea of, where are you going? Do you have a plan, or do you have a vision, or do you have some parameters that you stick to keep you on track? We have a philosophy statement here that's on the front page of the Percussion Studio website. If you're curious about that, you can go check it out. But our goal here is to develop superior musicianship, and so everything we decide, the repertoire and lessons, the ensemble rep we do, the experiences that we maybe say no to or say yes to, really depends on, is that experience going to help our students really develop that musicianship? And I think personally it's really important, and I know it's helped me over the years, to have a similar plan, And really, I got this from, some businesses who have, plans, and the church that we attend has a vision, and so I also got it from something here that Igor Stravinsky wrote in this book, and it's an interesting story. Stravinsky's well-known critic of Wagner and some of the other late Romantic German composers, and his big thing with those guys was that he felt like they were operating in chaos. So that's today's question, really. Are you operating in chaos? Because he felt Wagner was, to some degree, in writing these grandiose operas, and where Stravinsky, and that's where I think Wagner felt like he was really ultimately free, right? It was just he could write whatever he wanted and use however many people he wanted. But Stravinsky was, he really felt like that was chaos, whereas maybe Wagner thought that was freedom. And so what's interesting about this is that Stravinsky, by setting parameters for himself, by more tightly controlling his compositional style, he really saw that as ultimate freedom. So it's sort of a dichotomy, right? He's setting parameters, but to him that was freedom because he couldn't go outside of these lines. And so I love that idea because I think it's good to explore both those ideas. But if you know where you can't go or where you're not going to go, even though those are restrictive to some degree, they can be at the same time very freeing because you know what you're going to spend your time on and what you're not going to spend your time on. So I think that's really today's axiom. Over the years, that's really helped me stay focused on my creative activity and what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. And also prioritizing, okay? So for all of you out there, whether you're a high school student or college students, I know we've got some college students listening, and even if you're a professional, it's great to really think about these things. And with today's technology and everything, it's so much easier, right? This right here, this is a piece we're working on, a new piece by Paul Lansky. It's called Split Rails. And so this is just something, he sent PDF out to the commissioning consortium. There's about 10 of us. And we each paid just a little bit of money, and we're going to be able to play this great new piece by one of America's foremost composers. And it's so easy to share ideas, and he's bouncing ideas by us, and we're regularly communicating, all 10 of us. It must be a huge undertaking for him to kind of deal with that, but we'll have to see how he does with that. But anyway, the point is, with today's technology, it's so easy to get involved in new music, since that's one of my guiding principles, because I'm interested in leaving a legacy to some degree and doing what I can because, it's not about me. It's really about developing our art and furthering our art, okay? And so with technology today, I can email Paul so quickly, even if I don't know him. We can connect in a community, right? We're trying to do this with my site at thomasburritt.com, create a community so we can develop these goals even more and take it a step further and utilize this technology to connect to each other for projects exactly like this. It's fantastic. So if you're an emerging player or someone, even if you're not an emerging player and you want to be someday, get involved. It's so easy just to email, people that are making things happen. Do what they're doing. Say, hey, I want in on this project. What do I have to do? And then before you know it, you're inside this community and you're going to have other opportunities from that. So that's just very, very important. So I want to talk about one other thing. One of my graduate students, Thad Anderson, has this really cool project that he's doing. For those of you who are local, every year, Michelle Schumann, who's director of the Chamber Music group here in Austin, Texas, puts on a regular thing every September called Happy Birthday, Mr. Cage, for John Cage. This year, Thad Anderson, one of my doctoral students, is trying to recreate the early days of the Cage Percussion Players, which was a group of players that Cage organized to play his music. So on this concert Friday night, which is at the Armstrong Community Music School on Barton Springs Road, you have the opportunity to hear first construction, second construction, third construction, and Imaginary Landscape number 2, which actually could be considered actually a fourth construction. You could hear all those pieces in one place, played by some of our other graduate students here. And there's a bunch of other things on the program too that'll be great. So nothing like Austin, Texas, to have a concert of all Cage music, but I don't think ever I don't know of any other concert ever where you've been able to hear all three of the constructions in one place. So really cool. And Thad's a great example. Thad knows exactly where he's going. He's got a plan, and he's definitely someone that we'll watch out. He's also involved in the Lansky Commission. So anyway, big shout out to Scott Ney at the University of New Mexico. I heard from him today. I'm going to include his link at the end in the show notes. It's easy to remember, scottney.com. He's got a podcast and a really interesting site there. Had a good conversation with him, and a big shout out to his students that are watching the show. Please spread the word if you like the show. And that's today's Axiom. So today's question is this: do you know where you're going? What is it? I'd love to know where it is. It doesn't have to be the same as everybody else's. And then, are you using technology? Are you connecting with people via the internet? And I'd like to hear about that too. So that's today's Axiom and episode, and we'll see you for episode 14.